girl Gel Beauty 87 here, and today we're gonna get into some ranking all of my Viseart palettes. So I don't own a whole lot of Viseart palettes, but I figured we could rank the ones that I do own. So I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3. So I have 10 Viseart palettes. So we're gonna have my top 10 Viseart palettes, obviously, because you know I only own 10, but we're just ranking the 10 that I own. Hopefully I'll get more in the future because I do like the formula, I do like the palettes. It's just more of a case of finding color stories that I feel like will work right for my skin tone. And starting with the bottom two, number 10 is the little 4 palettes that they had for holiday this year. Obviously these don't work necessarily for anyone my skin tone unless you're gonna buy the neutral ones, and we know I'm not a neutral girl, so that's not really in the cards or something I necessarily want to buy. So this is what the inside of the palette looks like. So this is what it looks like. You can see why I said they don't work for me. None of the mattes in here work for me. And then it's like I got plenty of shimmers in my collection, and these aren't really like those impactful shimmers that I like, so it's not necessarily a vibe for me. Then I have the Framboesa. I'm sorry, that was the Lilas. And this is what it looks like on the inside. This one works a little bit better, which is why it's a little bit higher up, but not by much, because the only matte that really works in here is the pink, and it barely works. And then you have these two shimmers, but they're more like satiny shimmers, so it's like they don't give the shim and pop that I want, which again makes them not, you know, exciting to me. So that's number 9. Number 8 is this Petite Pro 5 Soleil palette. Now this one actually has a couple of repeat shades, and another palette I'm going to show you. This shade right here and this shade right here are in the Violet palette. I swatched them and compared them. They were like the exact same shade from what I recall. I don't really like the formula of these small ones. I feel like they're not the same as the big ones, or at least for this one. The next one I'm about to show you, I feel like it is the same, but this one I feel like it's not, which is why it's so lower down, because I'm used to a certain quality from them, and I feel like that doesn't come to par. So that's number 7. So here we are with number 6. Number 6 is the Dark Edit. Now I feel like this one is the same formula as the bigger ones. So I don't know if it's easier to do that formula with the with darker colors as opposed to lighter colors, because with the smaller one, I'm telling you, to me it is not the same as the bigger ones. Absolutely not. But this one is, and I really like the color story of it. This is my type of color story though. It's like grungy, dark, fall inspired tones, and this is definitely a vibe. This one actually lives here at my grandmother's house because I had the bigger Dark Edit palette. That's the one I bought first, and I end up with this one. But I have the bigger dark mattes, and this is like the small dark edit for, I guess, on the go and travel. I had an eye look with this, and it was really nice. And you all, I don't know if you all liked it or not, but I did take a picture with it and post it on, I think I posted on IG or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, that's number 7. Wait, no, that was number 6. Sorry. Yeah. So this should be number 5 then. Yeah. Sure, I feel like I counted that right. 3, yeah. So this is number 5. This is the Violet, the one I was telling you all about. And this shade, these two shades right here are the same as in that Solstice palette that I showed you all. I like this one better than I like the Christmas ones that they just came out with recently. They came out with this one after the Christmas ones, and I wish I had kind of waited and just got this one instead, because I really like the color story of this one a whole lot better. I feel like it works better for people my skin tone. I think like one of the owners or one of the partners in the company, it was her birthday, and she came up with this palette for her birthday, and I think it's a nice collection of purples, and I am a purple fan, and I think they aren't bringing like the liaison back or whatever, so all the people that wanted the liaison, you know, they don't have to worry about getting any more, because you know they can just get that one instead, because I think they said liaison isn't coming back. I think that's what Morgan Turner said in her video. Don't quote me, I'm not 100% sure. But next I have the Editorial Brights palette. So this is number 4, I guess. Yeah, this is what it looks like on the inside. I really like this palette. It's a nice little colorful situation. It's the formula of their shadows is really nice, which is why I have so many of these $80 ones. I got this one on sale, I believe. It was this one, and I think this one, and then the big one on sale on Beautylish when they had some sale going on. I don't know. Beautydealsbff has posted it, and I went ahead and grabbed those palettes because, you know, I wanted to try them. But this color story is really nice. I really like the quality of this palette. I do have other bright palettes in my collection. I tend to reach for a little bit more though, so that's why it's kind of lower down, because at the end of the day I want to have shimmers to go with the mattes. And since they have all matte palettes by themselves and all shimmer palettes by themselves, it's not necessarily something I'm reaching for as much because I have other palettes that are going to have those shimmers and those mattes and work for me just fine. Number 4 is the, what is this? The Neutral Mattes Milieu. So this is what it looks like on the inside. And I mean, it has a lot of warm tones, but it has a few like cool tones at the bottom I can work with. So I usually like brown here the rest of the way down when it comes to this palette. To me, this is a nice little simple palette for me to use when it comes to neutrals, because it's like I have my pops of color I can put on the lower lash line when I want to do something colorful, but I'm too lazy to try to do other blending because sometimes it just comes down to that for me. I gotta get my priorities in order as far as like time and go for the makeup. So sometimes I just use a neutral palette like this and then do a pop of color on the lower lash line like a lot of girls do, just because sometimes I ain't got time to this. I just don't. But yeah, this palette is definitely a staple for me. I really like it, and I didn't like the original neutral palette because I felt like there were too many light colors in it. So I like that they gave an extension for people of my skin tone that would work a little bit better, because the colors in this one I feel like do much better for some of my skin tone as opposed to the original one that they had. There was a lot of lighter tones in it, and that just wasn't going to suit my fancy. So now we're getting to the top 3. So number 3 is my Dark Matte palette. This is actually the first full-size video palette I bought. That's why it's in the old packaging, and all the other ones you see are going to be in the new packaging. Because this went on sale on, what do you call that place? Sephora for I think like $56, and then I had a 20% off coupon in addition to that. So this was like a awesome steal, and that's how I got to try the big formula. And this was the palette I had been looking at and wanted the most. So when it went on sale, I was like, yes, please give it to me. I bought it. I fell in love with it, and I bought like some of these bigger ones after that just because I really like the formula. I tried to try all the sizes, so as you can see I have a nice little variety of sizes here. But yeah, this one was the one I had the most, and that's why it has like the most dips and pans. And I feel like you know the shades that would have the most dips in the pans. As you can see, it's the blue, it's the purple, this greenish khaki shade right here, this green shade. I actually dipped into this couple of oranges a little bit from when I would do a more, you know, neat color story. I mean, like a more warm tone color story. So it's like, it's a nice little palette, and this, I love to reach for this along with my quads from Pat McGrath, like 2019 holiday collection. Like when I did that look, one of my favorite looks I did this year was with the mattes in this palette, and then I used the shimmers from the Nocturnal Violet palette from Pat McGrath. So that's definitely it. So number 2 is the Koi palette. Now, I had really wanted this palette for a while, and then I heard them saying they might be discontinuing it or whatever, so they told me I should go ahead and get my hands on it, because I think they said they couldn't find the pigments for it anymore or something like that. It was something they told me on Instagram, because I had wrote and was talking about how I really wanted to get it, and that's when they had told me that I need to go ahead and get it, because they were going to be like discontinued or not be able to get it back, because I think, like I said, I think they told me there was something about the pigments that they wouldn't be able to find again. But this palette is gorgeous. I love it for spring time because it just gives me all the pastel feels and vibes. Like if I could find some darker pastels that work nice with my skin tone, I feel like this would be a perfect companion palette. But I usually use this with the Editorial Brights, or I'll use it with the palette that's number 1 on this list that we will talk about in a moment. But you already saw it, so it's not like you don't know. Process of elimination. But yeah, I really love this palette, and I usually don't like their shimmers, but I like the shimmers formulas of this, or maybe I just like it because I changed which brushes I use with it. But number 1, of course, is my Viseart Grande Pro Volume 3. So it has a million little colorful mattes in it, and I have been reaching for this quite a lot this year, believe it or not. So I've been trying to get my money's worth out of this year, because look at how gorgeous this palette is. It's absolutely stunning. I really like to use a lot of the greens and blues in it, of course. I do occasionally use the reds. I'm not really big on the oranges, so when I do, I usually use these darker neutrally orange tones at the top. I don't really go for like the bright oranges and other things like that. And the yellow I hardly use, but I usually use again the darker ones. Like I'll use this one, or I'll use this like wannabe like mustardy type shade. So this is a great little palette to have in your collection if you are a makeup artist, or if you just like those tones. I would definitely recommend that you try it out. Now I don't know if I recommend that you get it at full price. I want to get the all shimmer one as well to go with this one, but I'm gonna have to wait till I find a good sale on that one as well. But those are my Viseart palettes, and that is how I have ranked them. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one.